Hello, friends. One of the easiest and best practices that you can do for your loved one who is living with dementia is to maintain a daily and weekly routine. It might be boring to you, but I assure you it is a comfort to your loved one, even if they don't realize that they are in a routine. And I suspect most of us actually do like a little bit of a routine. I know I love my morning coffee routine. Hello, I'm Dr. Renee Harmon. I'm the author of Surfing the Waves of Alzheimer's. It's a teaching memoir about my husband Harvey and his time with younger onset Alzheimer's disease. Harvey and I relished our routines both before and after the diagnosis, and maybe even more so after his diagnosis of dementia did they become more ingrained and solidified. But there was just something comfortable about knowing what to expect in a time where it was hard to know what to expect. And of course, dementia glitches would upend our routine from time to time, and we just would throw us both off balance. So one of our favored traditions was a Saturday morning coffee. There was a coffee shop about 10-minute drive from our house that we would go to every Saturday morning at about 7 o'clock. And when we got there, we would always be greeted by the owner and the barista, who would immediately start working on the drinks that he knew we liked. And this coffee shop was also a small bookstore, so I could chat about books with the owner while we were waiting for our drinks. And it was right in the middle of a community, and people in the community would come in and out. So it was a chance for us to socialize, be part of this community, and just feel like part of something bigger. And again, it was a routine every Saturday morning. It also ended up being a way for me to assess Harvey's driving skills. He never really had any difficulties with the actual skill of driving, but I began to notice navigational errors or problems on this Saturday morning drive. He would just begin asking me more directional questions about when to turn, where to turn, to this location that we had been going to every Saturday for years. Another one of our treasured routines was Friday night date nights. We started this when we were interns in Charleston, South Carolina, and it was a wonderful way to get to know the food scene in Charleston and a way for us to decompress with each other, reconnect with each other after a busy work being medical interns. And we continued this tradition and routine, and it probably became even more important to us once we had children. We really relished the idea of being able to reconnect with one another without children, and tried not to talk about the children or work, but you know that's difficult. And then we continued this after Harvey's diagnosis with dementia, and I found this was also another way that I could monitor how he was doing. The first sign was his inability to calculate a tip. So I would kind of take over that, tell him how much to do, and eventually took over paying the bill altogether. Then he became unable to decipher a menu, and eventually I would just order for him, which threw the waitstaff into a bit of a tizzy, but you do what you have to do. So that was another way that I could assess what was going on. I also started inviting other couples to join us, and it was a way for both of us to get some socialization, and it was a chance for our friends to see how Harvey was doing and realize that it's not all doom and gloom at our house at the time. So if you don't yet have an established daily or weekly routine with your loved one who is living with dementia, I recommend that you start one or add a new one, or just solidify the ones that you do have. I suspect you do have some routine. Most of us do. And hopefully, like me, you'll also use these routines as a chance to see how your loved one is doing and in what areas there might be some difficulties. So thank you. Be well, and keep your balance.